Hello and welcome. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Dr. Gustavo Tolosa, and many people know me as the plant powered pianist. My academic background is in music. I hold a doctorate in piano performance. I am not a medical doctor. I've worked with them and work with them, but I'm not a medical doctor, so I won't be giving medical advice. I wouldn't even if I was a doctor, but I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist either. Over the last 12 years, probably a little more than that, I have dedicated a huge part of my life to teaching plant-based nutrition and coaching people who want to transform their health. I am certified in the START solution by the McDougall Health and Medical Center. And I also have a certification as a nutrition instructor by the Food Saved Me Institute. And I work as a whole food, plant based coach and a culinary instructor. Okay. So before moving forward, I want to make a very special invitation to all of you. I just mentioned that I am a pianist and concert pianist, and tomorrow, Saturday, I will be doing an online concert that is going to be one of the best that I've ever done. I promise. Okay, so I'm playing the piano, and I have two extremely talented musicians, a violinist and a cellist, the best in Argentina, and probably the top in the world. So we will be playing a beautiful piece by a romantic composer, a woman composer from the 19th century, Clara Schumann. So I'm just going to put the link here if you want to register. It's free, and I would love for you to come to the virtual concert hall and hear us play that beautiful music. Okay, so as I wait a little bit longer to get everybody in, I'm going to tell you that I am also the co-founder of Plantimas International, and I share content regularly on my website, my YouTube channel, my Instagram. All of those are under the name Plant because I'm a plant-based, teacher. Plant and then EMUS for music because I love to combine my passions, which are plant-based nutrition and music. So that's why the name. Okay, so you can always visit those. But my Facebook page is not under that name; is under Doctor Starch because the page is based on the starch solution. That's the Facebook. Okay. All right. So throughout the year, I run several live programs. They're called the 7-day reboot, reset, and detox program, which has helped many people take control of their health. So now, what I'm going to share with you today is, I want to underline this. What I'm going to share with you today is not in any textbook that I know of, or a lecture, or a website. What I'm going to share with you today comes directly from my own experience. I have struggled, and yes, I still struggle, though perhaps less than before, okay? Because the truth is, all of us live in an environment that is constantly promoting unhealthy choices, ultra processed foods, and social pressures that make it difficult to stay on track. So, as we begin today, I hope that what I share will resonate with you and help you in one way or another. And please know that I'm always available. You can always reach me by email at info at plantimas.com, or you can leave me a comment in my YouTube videos, or join my 7-day program that is coming up in October. Okay, so with that said, let's dive right into our main question. Why does it often seem like we self sabotage our own efforts? So, here we go. This is a fascinating topic. Self image and weight, I think, are deeply connected, often in ways that are subconscious, because if it was conscious, we would have a little more control. So let's explore this step by step. First of all, let me define what I believe is self image. So, self image is the mental picture that we carry of ourselves. And I am often surprised because I may hear somebody talk about me, or based, or just people, giving their opinion or something in a group. And what they see about me is like, really? Okay, that's not me. So, how we see our body, our personality, our strengths, and our flaws, that's the picture that we have. It's not always aligned with reality. For example, some people see themselves as overweight. I know people who see themselves as overweight or even obese, and they're not. They're slim. Okay, so it doesn't quite align their picture, mental picture, with reality. While others may do the opposite, that they may underestimate their size. So this self-perception strongly influence our behavior, because we will act according to how we see ourselves, and we will make health choices based on that, and even our emotional um, well-being depends on that. Okay, so that's what I believe is self-image. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about self-image and weight, our weight. So our beliefs shape the actions. If you believe, I'm just not the type who can be slim, at one point in my life, I believed that because I had tried everything. Okay, so I believed that I was not the type who could be slim ever. So you may unconsciously act in ways that reinforce that identity by overeating, skipping workouts, making choices that are not going to help you to lose weight. So um, it depends. What you need to start thinking, I believe, um, what you believe about yourself. Do you really believe that you can be, trim and slim, and have a body with energy and power, or not? Another thing that determines weight is our fear of change. Sometimes losing weight can feel threatening because it means letting go of a familiar identity. I remember when I started my journey of whole food plant based with a starch solution. Okay. And I kind of went through a little bit of a identity crisis, if we could call it that way. It was good because, but sometimes I wouldn't almost recognize myself because I was losing weight so fast. For instance, someone could be known and could be, could have heard many times in their lives that, oh, I've always been the big guy. Okay. And so That's their belief. They may not know who they are if they slim down. Okay, the other thing is the association with illness, which happens to me also. Okay, so looking too thin may remind you of sickness rather than health. And that is something that I need to change because sometimes I think, no, no, I know that it would be good if I lost another whatever pounds, but I may look sick. Like I may, my color may not be rosy, or nice. I mean, my bones could show. I don't know. My face may shrink. So that emotional association can block progress if getting slimmer triggers fear of looking frail or older or just not as good. Okay. Let me just do a pause here. The Facebook page that is under Dr. Starch is not going to say Dr. Starch, it's going to say the starch solution because that's my page as a starch solution coach. And it's also whole food plant based, but I just focus a little bit more on the starch solution. Okay, so we have talked about what self image is and the association between self image and weight. Now, how about self sabotage? Or we could call it subconscious resistance. This is very common. Okay. We are all more comfortable with the familiar. Even, if the familiar is uncomfortable because we don't feel good in our clothes and we have aches and pains, but at least it feels safe because that's how we felt for a long time. Change can be scary for some people. Sometimes weight serves as a subconscious purpose like protection, avoiding attention, or maintaining a role in the family or in the social dynamics. Everybody has known you the way that you are, or you were. So there can be an identity conflict if your new self image, which is slim and healthy and muscular, doesn't match your old identity. The subconscious may pull you back to the old one to avoid dissonance. And that's why I think many people are frustrated because they're going well for a week or two or three, and all of a sudden they go off and they go really off, and they wonder what's wrong. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I make myself start over and over and over and over all the time? So I'm going to give you my personal insight. What I've been saying, but I'm going to now start changing this, is I don't want to be too skinny at my age because I think I will look kind of like sick. But if I focus on gaining muscle mass, I'd probably be okay with being skinny. Okay. So now I am changing a little bit my view. So if I start saying that to myself and writing it and believing it, that I will focus on gaining muscle mass, and so muscle burns more calories, and it will, uh, I'm not going to look sick. So now I'm taking that fear away, and I hope that gradually this will continue my weight loss. Okay. So that shows a perfect example of reframing my self image. Instead of seeing slimness as weakness or sickness, If you associate it with strength and energy and muscle, then your mind is more likely to allow you to get there without sabotage. You'll be replacing fear with a positive goal, and the positive goal is lean and strong. So, what are some of the practical strategies that I would like for you to try and that I'm trying? Okay. Is one is identity shift. So start telling yourself this: I am someone who is lean, strong, and full of energy. I am someone who is lean, strong, and full of energy. This is an affirmation and is tied to action. It will hopefully, as you say this affirmation every day, change your actions. I am someone who is lean, strong, and full of energy. If you can say it in front of the mirror and smile, you know, smiling in front of the mirror shifts something in the brain. Okay. Give this a try. There's nothing to lose other than weight. Okay, so that would be an identity shift. What about visual anchors? Look at role models, especially people in your age range who are lean and muscular but not frail. Maybe start looking at some people, people that role models on the internet or in magazines or wherever. This helps retrain your subconscious association. Start looking at the body type that you want to become. If the focus is on muscle and vitality, which I think, I don't know why anybody would not want to have a little more muscle as we get older and to have vitality. So, if the focus is on muscle and vitality, slimness won't feel uh, like being sick or ill. It will feel like power. So, also, let's just say that self-image is not about vanity. It's about congruence, matching how you want to see yourself with how you actually feel and look. That's what it is. So the bottom line is, yes, self-image can absolutely influence weight loss. When the self image is not aligned with the desired outcome, then sabotage often happens. But when you redefine your self image, like shifting from skinny looks sick to lean and muscular looks vibrant, then your subconscious starts working with you instead of against you. Let's make this practical so you can really train your self image to align with your goals. These are not positive thinking tricks, they are structure practices that, I mean, I've had psychology sessions and I've taken psychology classes. I'm not a psychologist, but these are they're not positive thinking tricks. They're really structured practices that are used in psychology and in coaching and even in sports performance and even in high level performance of like instrumental performance, musicians or actors or people who are under pressure when performing. Okay, so one of them is redefining your identity. Instead of focusing on what you want to lose, how many pounds you want to lose, focus on who you want to become. That is a big shift, okay? And it may not happen just right, all at once. So, but you can help it by writing this. Okay, you can write this. Um, this is what I wrote for me. I am a strong, lean, energetic 61-year-old who inspires others with my vitality. So I wrote that. You can write something slightly different. Whatever whatever defines your identity of who you want to become. Not just I want to lose 20 pounds. That's kind of shallow. Repeat this daily. Repeat it out loud, ideally in the mirror. Identity based language like I am programs the subconscious faster than outcome based I want to lose weight. So you want to start visualizing. Um, I know that perhaps it sounds a little bit too, like Oprah type thing, but I mean, uh, high level athletes and business people and performers actually do self visualization. I know it. I mean, I do it when I perform. So every morning or every evening, close your eyes and picture yourself walking into a room 6 months from now. Just just picture it. It's like this movie that is being played, okay, in your head. Imagine what happens when you walk in that room. Imagine friends or family or students, whoever are around you, saying, "Wow, you look so healthy and strong." You've got to really see all the details. The more clearly you can paint this picture, the more likely that it's going to become a reality. Notice the details. What is your posture? Are you going to be like this? Or are you, you know, sitting or standing up straight? Do your clothes fit or are they baggy or are they, I mean, how do the clothes look on you? See your smile, see the way you move with confidence, anchor that feeling, breathe it in and feel that that version of you is not something up in a cloud. It's already real because this is also quite common knowledge for trainers. The subconscious mind does not distinguish much between vividly imagined reality and actual reality. This is very important. They have actually done studies where um, they have hooked people with machines to see the all the brain activity and everything, and they have asked them to imagine when I don't know, something from their lives. Okay, imagine when the smell of this rose, or imagine the taste of this food that you love so much. And the spots that turn on in the brain are the same as when they're actually smelling that flower or tasting that food. So the subconscious mind, we have that much of a power. If you imagine something really vividly with all the details and you really believe that that's the reality, the subconscious mind cannot tell that that is an imagined reality instead of an actual reality, and it will be easier to get it. So, okay, those are really good um, ideas for you to try. But remember that reframing is important. Uh, Start thinking and observing what you say and what you think. The word skinny, which to me feels weak and maybe even sick, I need to replace skinny or thin with lean and muscular, which feels strong and vibrant. We've Words have power, more power than we think. And so we've got to start looking for words that have that power. So I would create an anchor phrase that says, I'm lean, I'm strong, and I'm fit. I'm not just skinny. So each time you catch yourself worrying about looking skinny, replace it with that phrase. I'm lean, I'm strong, I'm fit. Or you could say, I am full of, I'm full of health and life, and I'm happy. I mean, choose a short, it needs to be short, a short phrase. Okay, so the other thing is something that I always encourage my 7-day program participants, and that is keep a journal. This is way more powerful than we think at first. Keep a small notebook where you write daily, either at night before you go to bed to distract your mind if that's the time when you want to eat and it's already too late, or maybe first thing in the morning or both. And in that notebook, write one thing that you did to nourish your body. You had a healthy meal, you had an apple or a banana before you reached for that donut or muffin. You gave yourself time to eat something whole and plant based so that later it was so easy to say no to the other. Maybe you did a workout, maybe you had really good night's sleep, but write down one thing that you did to nourish your body. Then write one thing that you notice in your body, in your body image that is improving. Oh, wow, I noticed that um, I'm not, sluggish, or I noticed that I have more energy throughout the day, or I noticed that my pants feel looser, or even you can write down if somebody gave you a compliment. This builds proof that reinforces your new identity. Another thing we can do is reprogram through action. The fastest way to change self-image is through repeated small behaviors. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. If your identity is that you want to become muscular and strong, then lifting light weights, we're not saying that you're going to go to a gym now and start lifting 200 pounds, but lifting light weights, doing body weight exercises, or practicing the piano with good posture, all of this will reinforce your identity. Each action is like a whisper to your subconscious. It's a whisper that says, see, this is who I am now. And you're slowly changing that image. I would definitely try the mirror exercise. Once a week, or if you can do it twice a week, stand in front of a mirror and number one, smile at yourself. Literally changes the brain's emotional interpretation of you. Smile at yourself and say something that you've written down, like, I'm proud of the body that has carried me through all these years. After all, I mean, this body has carried you through a lot. And then you can say, and I'm shaping it. Now I'm shaping it to carry me powerfully into the next 20 years, 30 years, whatever years you want. This transforms criticism into respect for your body. Now you're not going to look at the mirror with a sad face. You're going to smile and you're not going to say, that looks disgusting. I don't like my image. No. I'm proud of the body, even with those wrinkles. Okay. I'm proud of the body that has carried me through all these years, that has let me accomplish all that I accomplished. And now, you see, now you go to the present. I'm shaping it to carry me powerfully into the next 20 years or 30 years or whatever. So, what about a sabotage detector? When you feel resistant, like, oh, I don't feel like exercising today, or oh, one extra dessert won't hurt just one time. Anything that you notice that you're starting to sabotage, you've got to get used to pausing and asking yourself, if possible, out loud. And you're going to say, is this aligned with my strong, lean identity or with my old self image? Because you have to answer it to yourself. And most likely you're going to say, no, this is my old image. That's not who I am anymore. Choose the behavior that matches your new identity, even in the smallest possible ways. So the bottom line is self image changes through consistency, through visualization, through language, through aligned micro actions. Over time, the subconscious accepts the new identity. Yeah, I don't know if it can accept it overnight, okay? But over time, the subconscious mind accepts the new identity, and the self sabotage starts to fade because you no longer feel like you're fighting yourself. You're simply being yourself. Thank you for the guidance in thank you for the guidance in journaling. To simply write down those two things, it keeps it from feeling like too big of a task to do each day. Yes, Margaret says, speaking of looking like a uh, popped balloon, once after I had lost a lot of weight, my formerly large breasts looked like empty sacks hanging low. Well, there's a lot of things that you got to change, okay? You've got to switch things there for positive. The more positive input that we can put here in our brain, the easier it's going to get. But if we're constantly beating ourselves up, that it's not going to help you. I can tell you from my own experience. So, as we wrap up today, I want to remind you of something very simple but very powerful. Listen carefully. I mean, it's just four words. Change is always possible. Change is always possible, no matter your age, your past struggles, or the challenges that you have around you. Every single choice you make is a step either toward health or away from health. It's that simple. Every single choice you make every minute of the day is a step toward health or away from health. And the beauty is, you are always one bite away, one meal away from getting back on track. That's what we say. Um, that's what the book that Shada and I wrote says. See? One bite at a time, one meal at a time. By the way, if you don't have our book, we would appreciate your support by purchasing on Amazon. It it's a very unique book. Okay. Um, if you like to keep walking this path with me, I will invite you to just check that book. It's not just recipes, it's our personal stories, our struggles, our strategies that have helped us. And then, yes, after part one, which is a storybook of the two chefs and coaches, then you get an amazing number of Persian based recipes, American, Argentine, Spanish, German, I mean, all sorts of international recipes. And if you're ready for a more structured support. If you ever want to join us for the 7 day reboot, reset, and detox program, I have taken away the fee, and you can donate what you can and join us twice a day live. This is a live program to really get back on track. And if you can't join in live, I always provide the replays. So the exact dates are listed on my website, plantemas.com, and right here in the description area of this video on YouTube. And thank you so much for spending about 35 minutes or so with me. I truly hope that something that I shared today helps you in your journey. And I'm going to leave you with this one thought. Remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just must never give up. Of course, we can have perfection as a goal. I'm not saying that that's not a good goal. But when that day happens that we're not perfect, we can't just throw away everything we've done. So you don't have to be perfect. You just have to never give up, because when you give up, you give up on your health, you give up on life. So I'm going to see if there is anything here. All right, that you wrote. This has been fabulous. Thank you. Yes, your book is great. I love it too. Okay, how many people usually participate in your groups? Anywhere from 30 to 40, 45. Okay, it's a small group, and it's very personalized because during that week, I am in touch with each person by email, and we work on your specific goals. Okay. We are traveling again during your next reboot. I'll have to wait until November. Okay. Thank you so much. It has given me a lot of great strategies. Thank you for this class. Okay, very good. This was perfect. Great. Yes, if you, I'm going to upload this on my YouTube channel if you want to watch it again, because you may have, maybe you want to hear something again. It'll be there in an hour or two. So if you have any questions or comments now, this is the time. I have about 10 minutes left because I need to do another webinar for other people. And I have about 10 minutes for any questions that you might have about what I said or about anything else that has to do with whole food, plant-based nutrition. Okay. No? All right. Maybe I gave you enough material to think about. Well,
Sure. I do have a question. Can you repeat what you said again about self-image is not necessarily about vanity? Can you kind of expound on that just a little bit?
right. Yeah, because some people say, well, you're doing this because you want to be look better than anybody else. And other people say, well, don't be so vain. Okay, so it's really not. What I was saying is that it's not vanity what we're doing. what we're doing is aligning the picture that we have of ourselves or that we want to have of ourselves with our actions. That's what we're doing. We are aligning the picture that we create of ourselves with our actions. It's not just, well, I mean, I guess, I mean, there could be others that want to, you know, do this maybe to put to shame others, but that's really ugly. I mean, I don't think I would never cross my mind to say, "Well, look how I look now after I lost weight. You look horrible." That would be more like vanity. No, I'm not doing this to be better than others or to put down other people. I'm doing this because I need to get to my goal, and the only way I'm going to get there is if my mental pictures and my actions are aligned. Okay, I don't know if that.
Yes, that helps because that was the missing part that I kind of missed in writing down my notes. Thank you.
All right. Very good. Well, if you're free tomorrow, Saturday, I'm going to offer this mini online concert. It's going to be fabulous, beautiful music with piano, myself, and a violinist and a cellist who are incredibly talented. And that's tomorrow, Saturday afternoon. There's a link if you'd like to sign up. It's free. I'd love to see you there, and it tells you the time when you sign up. It is at there are so many time zones that I don't. I think it's 6 p.m. Yeah, 6 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Central time. But when you register for this, it'll give you the time in your own time zone. So you're all invited to attend. All right. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I'll see you in another video, hopefully, next time. Bye bye.